Let's talk about the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis. And SWOT is a tool that is used for analysis. S stands for strengths, W stands for weaknesses, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats. SWOT, SWOT, SWOT. How do you pronounce it? You may remember a movie called SWOT featuring Samuel L. Jackson. It is not that SWOT. It is SWOT. S-W-O-T. S stands for strengths, W weaknesses, O opportunities, and T threats. Very important that you understand this, and you should be able to apply this particular tool. And when we make reference to the strengths and the weaknesses, these two are internal. It means that the business has control over them. You have control over your strengths and you have control over your weaknesses. However, no business has got control over the last two. A business does not have control over the opportunities, and it does not have control over the threats. These are external. I wish to repeat that strengths and weaknesses are internal, whilst opportunities and threats are external. On the exam, they could give you a scenario of an organization or whatever scenario it could be, and they could ask you to conduct a SWOT analysis. All that they're simply saying is that take note of the strengths, take note of the weaknesses, take note of the opportunities, and take note of the threats. The diagrammatical presentation of SWOT is as follows. You have got a quadrant and another quadrant, and you must clearly indicate that you have strengths there and you have weaknesses over there. You also have another quadrant and a fourth quadrant, and you must clearly indicate that the third one represents opportunities and the fourth one represents threats. This is the starting point. You need to have 4 quadrants. Should you draw these quadrants on the exam? Not exactly. It's okay for you to just simply list the strengths, then you proceed to list the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. However, should you be asked to diagrammatically represent SWOT, it is as it is being demonstrated or shown right now. And possibly you are following this lesson on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Captain 37. The 37 is a number, Captain 37. If you are listening to this lesson as an audio, you simply need to draw 4 quadrants. 2 of them on top and 2 of them below. The one on your top left represents strengths. The one on your top right represents weaknesses. The one on your bottom left represents opportunities, and the one on your bottom right represents threats. You then should be able to list down the identified strengths in a situation that has been given. For example, the strengths could be that a company has got a well-known brand. It could be that it has a fully functioning mobile application. It also could be that it has got a wide branch network. Those are examples of strengths. Don't write down any strength from your own mind. You must be able to apply this particular SWOT analysis on a given situation, on a given case, or on a given scenario. So you must reflect the strengths that are in that particular scenario that's given. And remember, a strength refers to those areas that a business is good at and can take advantage of them. It can capitalize on them. Those are strengths. Weaknesses, on the other hand, are those things, those factors that inhibit an organization from being able to achieve its objectives. For example, fewer manpower. Meaning you have got so much tasks that need to be performed, but you have got a shortage of your men and women. Another example of a weakness is having inexperienced members of staff. And the third one could be you have an outdated website. These weaknesses inhibit you, meaning they slow you down or they stand in the way of you achieving your objective. What therefore a business should do after identifying weaknesses, it must convert these weaknesses into strengths. And this particular process is called conversion. with regards to the SWOT analysis, with regards to the marketing planning process, and with regards to strategic marketing management, conversion is the process of transforming weaknesses that have been identified into strengths. Conversion is the process of transforming weaknesses into strengths. With the strengths identified and with the weaknesses identified, a business must then look outside of itself to identify possible opportunities. And opportunities are conditions in the environment that make it possible for a business to thrive. There are openings or a change in the environment which a business can capitalize upon. Those are opportunities. Examples of opportunities include new technology. They also include the change in laws or regulations. For example, the government can say that there shall be no more use of plastic bags. Instead, organizations or retailers must be able to provide paper bags. That change in policy, regulation, or the law presents an opportunity for a company that deals with paper bags to be able to take advantage and record more sales. Also, you must appreciate that a change in regulations or a change in law can be a threat to a business. At this particular point, we are noting it as an opportunity. A third example is that of emerging intermediaries. Intermediaries, remember, these are persons that are going to be in between the production sector and the consumption sector. They include agents, dealers, retailers, and wholesalers, amongst others. There may be others that may be emerging, and they may have way much more better facilities, products, and value compared to the ones that exist. A business can take advantage of these, and that's why they are opportunities. So opportunities, a business takes advantage of them. It is very important that the strengths of a business are matched with the opportunities. So you look at your strength and you look at the opportunity. Some opportunities are way much more bigger than an organization's strength. In that case, it is not therefore advisable to exploit that particular opportunity. There must be a process called matching, meaning your strengths must be adequate for you to be able to exploit an opportunity. If that is the case, well and good. If it is not, then a business may consider letting go of that particular opportunity to wait for a new one or create a new one in the future. We now turn to threats. Examples of threats include competition. They include the weather. For example, there could be a drought or there could be floods. Those also are a threat to some businesses. A threat is that which puts you at a risk of possible loss. A threat puts you at a risk of possible loss. So competition can be so bad that a business can be taken out of business. Equally, the effects of climate change, weather, and natural calamities can be a threat to any business. A third example of a threat includes negative publicity. Remember that a business does not have control over publicity. It has control over public relations. There is a difference between public relations and publicity. A business does have control over public relations, but it does not have control over publicity. And negative publicity can become a threat on the reputation of the business and also potential loss to lose out on prospective customers. Negative publicity is a threat.